TV1 TV for life.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First team, I'm Nithmini De Silva. Let's start off with a look at the headlines.
Online safety bill gazetted. Opposition leader requests undisclosed sections of the Easter tax report.
ඇයි තවදුරටත් මේ සාක්ෂි සටහන් සාක්ෂි විමසේ ඇයි මේ රටෙන් හංගන්නේ?
දැන් මේ වාර්තාව පුස්තකාලයේ සෑහෙන කාලයක් තිස්සේ තියෙනවා. මේක පරිශීලනය කරන්න අවස්ථාවක් දීලා තියෙනවා.
අපිට කියන්නේ එතනට ගිහිල්ලා කාටවත් හොරාට මේ ඒ වාර්තාවල මේ ඡායාරූප ගත කරගෙන ඒවා පිටපත් හැටියට මෙතන ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න කියලා.
Sri Lanka's debt optimization reaches final stage, President tells World Bank chairman. South Korea to support Sri Lanka's economic recovery. When will the election take place?
රට යථා තත්ත්වයට පත්වීමත් එක්කම රටේ මැතිවරණයක් පැවැත්විය යුතුයි.
Sri Lankan authorities gazetted the online safety bill dated the 15th of September 2023 by order of the Minister of Public Security.
The online safety bill is to establish the Online Safety Commission to make provisions to prohibit online communication of certain statements of fact in Sri Lanka and to prevent the use of online accounts and inauthentic online accounts for prohibited purposes and other related matters. Subject to the provisions of Section 6, the Commission shall consist of 5 members appointed by the President, and the term of office of a member of the Commission shall be 3 years from the date of appointment. As per the Online Safety Bill, the Commission members shall have qualifications and experience in one or more fields of information technology, law, governance, social services, journalism, science and technology, or management. The Commission will have the power to issue directives to persons, service providers, or internet intermediaries who have published or communicated or whose services have been used to communicate any prohibited statement, requiring them to provide to persons who have been adversely affected by any prohibited statement an opportunity of responding to such prohibited statement. The Commission will have the power to issue notices to any internet access service providers or internet intermediary to disable access to an online location which contains a prohibited statement by the end users in Sri Lanka, or to remove such prohibited statements from such online locations. It notes that no civil or criminal action can be instituted against the Commission. The Online Safety Bill has described a series of offences.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa requests that undisclosed sections of the Easter tax report be available. He made these remarks in Parliament.
මගේ වරප්‍රසාද කඩවීමක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. මම මගේ කාර්යාලය හරහා ඉල්ලීමක් කරා. විශේෂයෙන්ම පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ පුස්තකාලයෙන් පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳව ජනාධිපති කොමිෂන් වාර්තාවේ තියෙනවා. මම දන්න විදිහට වොලියුම්ස් දෙකක්. ඒ පළවෙනි වොලියුම් එක
My rights have been violated. I made a request from the Parliament Library. The Presidential Commission report on the Easter tax has 2 volumes. Some parts of the second volume are missing. I believe there are parts 2 and 3. During the time of President Gotabaya, it was said that those parts cannot be issued but only can be previewed within the library premises. This rule still continues. There is more. It can only be previewed under the supervision of the General Secretary. I would like to ask you whether I should act in this Parliament based on what the General Secretary needs. Why are these investigations hidden from the country? At least now the truth should be brought into light. There is no use in hiding this. Therefore, I would like to request the parts 2 and 3 of the second volume to be disclosed not only to the opposition leader but to all the 225 in the Parliament. These are hidden by those who are responsible for the attacks. They came to power from the Easter Sunday attacks, saying that they will counter-react terrorism. You became the speaker in the same manner.
හිටියොත් මම එකක් කියන්න කැමතියි මේව හංගන්නේ අතේ ලේ තවරුණු අය මේගොල්ල බලයට ආවේ පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය විකුණලා රාෂ්ට්‍රවාදය මර්ධනය කරනවා කියලායි මේගොල්ල බලයට ආවේ ඔබතුමත් පාර්ලිමේන්තු මන්ත්‍රී වුණේ එහෙමයි ඔබතුමත් කතානායක වුණේ එහෙමයි.
Former President Maithripala Sirisena recently said a written request will be made to the United Nations office in Sri Lanka to conduct an international investigation regarding the Channel 4 report and the April 21st attacks. over the matter following a program held in Polonnaruwa today.
We were going to submit the letter at 10 a.m. on Friday, but the United Nations representative in Sri Lanka had informed that he will arrive at my residence to accept it. The UN had called for an international investigation. The former Swedish ambassador to Sri Lanka at the time of the attacks has also asked for an investigation. Several organizations in Sri Lanka have also requested the UN office in Sri Lanka to conduct an international investigation. We will also submit a letter and make a special request to the Human Rights Commission to conduct an investigation. The Channel 4 report will be debated in Parliament on 2 days this week. I'm going to speak very strongly about this. After 4 years of tormenting me, these things are now coming to light. So I will speak on this matter in Parliament this week.
In other local news, MP Uddika Premaratna made a statement in Parliament today regarding Sunday's shooting incident.
The police and the criminal investigations department is looking into it. I'm thankful to everyone who spoke to me and checked in on me. More than who carried out the shooting, I believe this attack was done by the prevailing system. Parliament and everyone knows this system is wrong. The social and political system in the country are both wrong. That is why the country is in this state today. Both sides are wrong. To correct this, we need to identify the correct point and both parties should work towards it. Till that change is brought to the country, I don't think we will be able to make this country a developed nation. This country is asking for that political and social transformation. We are always asking for that change to be implemented in this country. If that is the case, why are we being threatened? We should all look at how to bring that change. Let's all work towards it. As the youth and new MPs, we will continue to work towards that change.
ඒ නිසා නම් අපිට මේ විදිහට තර්ජන එල්ල වෙන්නේ මං කියන්නේ අපි හැමෝම හොයලා බලන්න ඕනේ මේ වෙනස ඇති කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා මේ වෙනස හොයාගෙන අපි දෙගොල්ලම මේ වෙනස වෙනුවෙන් වැඩ කරමු අපි තරුණයෝ සහ අලුත් മന്ത്രിවරු විදිහට ඒ වෙනස වෙනුවෙන්ම වැඩ කරන එක ඉදිරියටත් කරනවා කියන එක මම ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න කැමතියි.
A stringent investigation should be carried out regarding the attack on this vehicle and all those responsible should be brought to book. It is everyone's responsibility to ensure the safety of MPs.
විශේෂයෙන්ම മന്ത്രിවරයෙකුගේ ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කිරීම සියලු දෙනාගේම වගකීමක්.
That shooting should not be considered normal. We see this as a situation involving all MPs. So take prompt action. This is a dangerous start. I see this as us going back to a certain era. I don't suggest how investigative units should carry out their work, but I believe we will be able to find the conspiracy behind the shooting before we find out who carried out the shooting.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe held discussions with several diplomats in New York on the sidelines of the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in high-level discussions with World Bank President Ajay Banga and other World Bank officials at the World Bank headquarters yesterday. The World Bank President commended Sri Lanka's commitments to reforms, emphasizing the importance of credibility in the country's approach. He said that the World Bank is actively involved in advisory work and encouraged Sri Lanka to rely on their support. President Wickremesinghe expressed gratitude for the vital financial support provided by the World Bank during challenging times. He said, quote, "The money helped us tide through the most difficult months. Now it's a matter of finalizing the debt restructuring and moving on from there," unquote. President Ranil Wickremesinghe also invited the World Bank President Ajay Banga to visit Sri Lanka, to which he responded positively. Banga said that the head of international operations of the World Bank is scheduled to visit Sri Lanka at the end of next month.
Tourism, which is the lowest hanging fruit.
Jobs per dollar invested, but many more jobs per dollar invested. And right now, again, credible.
And even Trincomalee for the local country.
To join the two.
Yeah, so that we want to make this. And the airport also can be nearby, is connected. So you make it in violence against women, Women's Commission, and the Institute of Women. So at the time being,
that you have to be careful with. So.
No, we thought of sending it as cash subsidy to their account.
I see. And then they can choose the correct fertilizer.
Yeah, fertilizer. And even in education, we're thinking of some new way. Digitalization, we have go.
And also the buy-in from your people will benefit from a tourism development. And for a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you in Washington.
Thank you. Thank you.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol pledged his support for President Ranil Wickremesinghe's economic recovery plan for Sri Lanka. He praised President Wickremesinghe's program aimed at alleviating the severe economic crisis in the country and commended his dedication. President Yoon Suk-yeol also discussed the potential for expanding the scope for job opportunities in South Korea for Sri Lankan youth in the future. He proposed the need to expedite the conclusion of a bilateral trade and investment agreement with a view to facilitating more Korean investment, bringing in new technology to Sri Lanka. President Yoon Suk-yeol had extended an invitation to President Ranil Wickremesinghe for an official visit to South Korea soon.
In more local news, Minister Manusha Nanayakkara said elections will be held as soon as the country returns to normalcy. He said this while attending a media briefing held in Habraduwa.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ජනවාරි මාස වෙනකොට රට මේ බංකොලොත් රාජ්‍යයක් බවට පත් කියන කාරණාවෙන් නිදහස් වෙලා අපිට IMF අරමුදල ඒ වගේම අනෙකුත් ජාත්‍යන්තර සංවිධාන
The country is not in a state of going into bankruptcy by January anymore. The IMF and other international organizations have provided us with aid. Other countries and international organizations are preparing to invest in our country. The country is being strengthened from all directions, with the country returning to normalcy, and election should also be held. The right time is coming. With these things being completed, I think we can conduct an election and create an environment for the elected person to take these activities forward. With these amendments, the progressive program and the transparency should be taken forward. If they lose this country's tax revenue once again, or make promises to increase state salaries, recruit state employees, distribute subsidies, or implement programs to distribute retail subsidies for free, and if elections are held with the hope of emptying the treasury, it will be a great loss to the country.
එහෙම කියලා වැඩ පටන් ගත්තොත් ඡන්දවලට හරි එහෙම ප්‍රකාශ කරලා භාණ්ඩාගාර හිස් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තුෙන් මැතිවරණ පැවැත්වුවොත් ඒක මේ රටට මහා විශාල හානියක් බවට පත් වෙනවා.
For many years, villagers have been pleading the authorities to renovate the Siambalaga Sewer in Kantale. But as their pleas fell on deaf ears, the villagers came together to renovate the Weber on their own.
The Siambalagas Weber in the Talgas Weber village in Kantale has been in a dilapidated condition for many years. Around 75 families in the area use this Weber for various activities daily. Using the lake has become an issue as the lake bund is dilapidated and the Weber is filled with silt. The villagers informed relevant authorities regarding the issue on many occasions. However, as no solution was provided, the villagers reached a decision to renovate the lake themselves. This is how they commenced the renovation activities of the lake. The villagers said the measure was taken to protect the Weber, which was a resource to the village.
News first with the people.
Up next is Crime Watch.
Crime Watch.
The body of a 28-year-old male was found in the Rathgama lagoon. Sri Lanka police said the body was discovered following a tip-off received. The body was found with the limbs bound. Police said that the deceased was a resident of Gammadda in Rathgama. He was reported missing since Sunday. The Rathgama police are conducting further investigations into the incident.
Crime Watch.
The Royal Thai Embassy in Colombo held a quiz show about Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its member countries at the Siam Nivasa.
The Royal Thai Embassy in Colombo held a quiz show about the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its member countries on Sunday at the Siam Nivasa. Thai Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Poj Hanpol, was present at the competition. The event was hosted by Senior Lecturer of the University of Colombo at the Department of International Affairs, George Cook. The event was held to commemorate ASEAN Day, which is celebrated on the 8th of August. A total of 18 students from 9 schools in Colombo participated in the quiz show. The students answered questions on a variety of topics, including ASEAN's history, culture, geography, and economy. Thurston College emerged as the winner, with DS Senanayake College coming in second place. Divi Savia. the second leg of the Divisavya program to provide much needed school books and stationery items to school children in Sri Lanka. 20th of September, Kilinochchi South, Kilinochchi North.
දෛ දරුවන්ගේ අනාගතය වෙනුවෙන් දිවිසවිය LOLC ප්‍රජාසත්කාරක මෙහෙවර.
The general in command of Ukrainian ground forces said his troops have routed 3 of the best Russian brigades fighting on the front lines in the eastern Donetsk region of Ukraine.
The general in command of Ukrainian ground forces said that the recapture of 2 eastern Ukrainian villages in recent days, Kilishivka and Andrivka, both of which are located on higher ground near the destroyed town of Bakhmut, was an important breakthrough. The Russian units in question were the 72nd Motor Rifle Brigade as well as the 31st and 83rd Air Assault Brigades. The general said that Ukrainian forces were continuing their advance and had some success piercing Russian defense lines, though Moscow's forces were counter-attacking from multiple directions in a bid to regain their lost positions. Russian forces captured the town of Bakhmut in May. However, Ukrainian forces continued to fight in fierce urban warfare that became one of the bloodiest and longest battles since Russia invaded last year.
Tensions between India and Canada are high after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said the Canadian authorities have evidence linking the Indian government with the murder of a prominent Sikh separatist leader in Canada.
Mr. Speaker, today I'm rising to inform the House of an extreme...
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said there is, quote, a credible link to the government of India and raised the matter with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the sidelines of the G20 summit last week in New Delhi. India has denied any involvement in the death of Hardeep Singh Nijjar, a Canadian citizen who was shot dead on the 18th of June this year outside a Sikh temple in British Columbia. Canada expelled an Indian diplomat who it says is believed to be linked to the killing. Nijjar, a vocal campaigner for an independent Sikh homeland named Khalistan in the Indian state of Punjab, which is a traditional Sikh homeland, was shot by 2 masked gunmen in the car park of the temple in the town of Surrey. Foreign media said that India had labelled him as a terrorist and placed him on a wanted list. Canada is home to about 1.8 million Sikhs, forming the largest Sikh population outside Punjab. Nijjar is the 3rd Sikh leader to have died under mysterious circumstances in recent months outside of India. Avtar Singh Kanda died in Birmingham in the UK in June under unknown circumstances, and Parmit Singh Panjawar was shot dead in Lahore, Pakistan in May.
At the G20, I brought them personally and directly.
That's a wrap of the lunchtime news. Join us again at 9 p.m. for prime time news on TV1.